on their own, even though something we need to process a little faster. We do need to process a little faster. So I'm going to let you write it out as opposed to verbally say it out so people can have a little chance to think. And then we're going to work on some pad placement based upon some DXs to see how we do with that. I'll throw up a whiteboard question just so that we can figure out how to answer a question on paper. And then we'll talk about the rotations. We'll actually do the rotations, and then we'll do the quiz. All right. So let's go from here. If I say mode, what does that mean? What is that referring to?
Continuous.
Continuous?
Surge.
Surge?
Reciprocate.
Reciprocate. And continuous means what?
Constant.
Surge means
Duration.
basically intermittent. Surge can be impacted by what?
Can you impacted like what?
Surge can be manipulated by what? Ramp.
Yeah.
Ramp. So if the surge is going up and down, then all we need to do is control it with a ramp, and we can control how fast it goes up and down. All right, and then we said reciprocate is what?
Two different intensities.
Two different intensities going
Different
two different directions if we're dealing with two different motions. All right. All right. What are the names for pulse rate? Pulse rate,
frequency.
pulse per second, hertz, cycles per second. Good. Okay. What does it mean? What do we mean when we say channel 1 and channel 2? What does that mean?
Two different electrodes.
Different electrodes.
Two different channel, two different jacks, two different settings, two different.
So a total of 4?
Two different circuits. That's a good way to look at it. Two different circuits. So you should have, yes, a total of 4 leads if you're talking 2 channels. Yeah, if you're talking 2 channels. What is it meant by electrode? Those are the pads. Good. All right. What is it meant by leads?
The wire.
The wires that go into the electrode. Good. All right. Micro is referring to what? Seconds for which parameter?
Yeah.
Pulse width. All right. And then milli also, milliseconds too. Which one is wider? Milli is wider. All right. So yeah, if you go back to the duration curve, you have microseconds, and then it extends into milliseconds. All right. That's 8, 6, 7, 8, something. All right. And then what do we refer to when we're discussing wave form? Monophasic, biphasic, polyphasic. See, the thing is, it's not going to be a problem to answer the question in many cases if you know what things mean. That's the problem. So we need to know what things mean in order to really answer the question. All right? In order to really, really, really answer the question. Okay. We got 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. All right. So let's work with some parameters first. Okay. You're going to see, and you're hurting yourself if you use your book. All right. So don't use your book. And there is your first. I'm giving you some paper so you can write it. There's your first diagnosis. See if you can come up with the parameters. See how well you can come up with the parameters. So if I gave you this dx, how fast or what would you do for that parameter setting? So that is the dx, meaning this is what you would set the machine for. Okay. So when you're given a different dx, how do you set the machine? And we'll discuss it at the end. That way, we're not taking away from some people. Keep in mind when you say pulse rate or pulse width, your half points come when you say 50 or when you say 100, as opposed to saying 50 pulses per second and 50 microseconds. That's when you get the full point. Just look what he's saying. Just look.